there's only so many things you can do. So I don't know what y'all where you going. Like y'all just, I mean, can you share it with the brothers? Can you enlighten us?
Like I said, it's not a routine. Don't patronize me. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not.
It's
I'm
not
asking you.
it's
I'm
not a
asking you.
routine.
Well,
You
well,
know
well,
what
you
I mean?
brothers.
Break the routine. Break the routine, fellas. If you want to make sure you keep it spicy, keep it funky with your wife, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you try and do something different here and there. Don't do a routine. That's for brothers that, you know what I'm saying,
Give us some
that
insight. That's what I'm
obviously
asking you.
if you be look, listen, bro. I don't need the cosigns. You know what I'm saying?
How does sex drive change a man's priorities in relationship as he ages?
A man's sex drive can dramatically change because testosterone levels are gone down, and now you're not as quick to try to put yourself out there as much anymore. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you might have a woman in her late 40s whose estrogen levels are on high, and she's just ready to go every time. But you can't get like you used to when you're in your 20s, maybe early 30s. You know what I'm saying? So you say, man, fuck, once, twice a week, I'm good. Like you have to figure it out with that rose or goddamn something.
When that drive change, I feel like when that drive changes, your motivation for honestly trying to make her happy changes. You know what I mean? Like certain things that you would normally do or necessarily put up with, you probably won't anymore because you're not trying to make sure, let's say she in a good mood for later or whatever the case may be, because you ain't worried about it. Sometimes that interest in her, I think, might change. You know what I mean? Who knows? I'm good though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can understand maybe a sensitive topic. Anybody else want to go ahead and answer how does sex drive changes a man's priority in
Well,
relationship as he ages?
see now, remember I was told I throw subliminal shots. I don't throw no subliminal shots. All my shots are direct. I call people by name and I speak directly to them. Now I'm gonna throw a subliminal shot. Now that, nah, just I ain't gonna do it. But anyways, as men get older, Jr., we all know the drive starts to diminish to some degree, especially if they on their grind and they got a family and kids. They just don't. They're not. It's not as pressing as it is when they're young. They it's just it's not the same. I mean, some guys, like when you're single, whenever you're single, your drive is typically high. You can go because you get so excited by different women. But when you're with the same woman, you guys kind of get in a routine, and that routine is what it is. It doesn't have to be broken. I mean, can it be broken? Yes, but guys get in the routine, women get in the routine, and it's just not always as frequent as it is when you're younger. So with a combination of things maybe dropping, the libido may be slowing down, or a routine may be in effect, it's going to change. But when you're single, you ain't got no routine with no women. And most guys are trying to get to it right away. That's the primary reason for connecting with a woman, is to get in the bed. And so you get in the bed, and if that situation don't work out, you on to the next woman. And well, again, back to the primary reason for getting with it is to get in the bed. And so your sex drive is going to automatically seem like it's higher, and maybe it is higher. But I think a routine plays a factor. Dealing with the same woman plays a factor.
I think my from like 13 to 25, the testosterone was testosterone. I'm talking about like every time I found myself attracted to a woman, I'm going to holler at her. I'm going to try and close the deal. That was kind of why I used that age in the previous conversation as to when a man should ideally start an actual relationship post 25. Your brain is mature and your testosterone levels start to even out some, so you can make better decisions. That 13 to 25 range, you kind of thinking with your small head, and as you get older, sex becomes less the focal point of the relationship and more so a byproduct of it. And you can foster a meaningful connection. I didn't actually experience real intimacy until post 25, because it was all just, but actual starting to actually really appreciate the whole being of the woman and connect spiritually, and then have different forms of sex that wasn't just like childish versions of what the ultimate form of sex can become. So Yeah, I agree with the brother you said. You can go from needing to have it every day to 2 times a week is cool if that's what you want to do, right? So I think testosterone has a major key to play in that, which is why I always wonder why they haven't done studies on that 13 to 25 to actually explain why men damn near operate like drug addicts and will risk a relationship, the women they love, and all that stuff if presented the opportunity to get with another woman that you're attracted to within that age range. It's extremely difficult to maintain monogamy if you have those options presented to you, or at least it was for me. That was my struggle when I was younger.
I've had conversations with men where it may look like things may not be okay in the house, but when they step outside of, they have stepped to the house, everything is fine.
Why don't you ask these dudes that's promoting marriage, like Outlaw? How do they do it, Outlaw? Kenny?
Shit, what do you mean?
No,
How do
not
we
you,
do what?
Hank. Not you, Hank.
No,
Kenny
what
and
how do
Outlaw.
we
I
what?
would like to hear. JR asked the question.
So we was talking about routine. So if you're in a marriage and a relationship, and sometimes when you get older, you get into a routine, it gets stale, it gets played out. So how do older men address that situation?
I'm not sure. I keep it. I don't keep the same routine. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. You know what I mean? My advice would be not to keep the same routine. Keep it spicy, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
So you and your wife switch up routines?
It didn't say
it wouldn't be a
anything about
routine.
matrimony.
Hold on, Kenny. I'm asking Outlaw. You and your wife switch up routines?
It's not really routine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a routine. Routine is the same thing over. Read the definition of routine.
No, a routine, sir. A routine could be 30 different things, and you do something different every day. But another 30 days, you start over with the same routine. So a routine is not necessarily the same thing, like one thing. It can be a multitude of things, but it's in a rotation. There's only so many things you can do. So I don't know what y'all, where you going? Like, y'all just, I mean, can you share it with the brothers? Can you enlighten us?
Like I said, it's not a routine. Don't patronize me. You know what I'm saying? It's not a routine. You know what I mean? Break the routine. Break the routine, fellas. If you want to make sure you keep it spicy, keep it funky with your wife, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you try and do something different here and there. Don't do a routine. That's for brothers that, you know what I'm saying?
Give us some insight. That's what I'm asking you.
If you be, listen, bro, I don't need the cosigns. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody co-signing you. I'm asking you.
If I'm talking, allow me to do so. And then when I'm done, you can interject. I don't need you to keep doing that.
You know, interject means talk while you're talking. That's what interject means. You mean wait for you to be done talking and then respond to what you're saying.
Like I was saying, you know, fellas, if y'all you want to keep it spicy, try and do different things, because a routine will be boring. You know what I mean? A routine tends to get boring, and that's one thing that women hate, is to be bored. That's all I got.
So JR, the question was, how do you maintain wanting to have sexual intimacy the longer you're in a relationship?
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of older men that it is stale, and based off of what I'm hearing is that the women's sex drives increase.
Yeah.
And so if it's increasing, I'm thinking men have to make it a priority, because they're noticing that their woman is desiring this, or they knowing that they're struggling. And so now it becomes more of a mental game with them in order to try to keep up, because if they're decreasing and women are increasing, then how are they sorting this situation out? Because I believe that this is a real thing. You know, one of my things I tell people is I think a lot of black men are unhealthy, and so that plays a huge factor into the decrease. And the conversations that we having is around the age of 40, that this is normal, which I don't think is normal for people to decrease at 40. I think because we have an unhealthy lifestyle and we're continuing to be unhealthy into our 40s, that's what is contributing to the decrease. And then because at that point, men are fighting with it being strictly mental, and that mental thing can be a dark place for some folks. I've had conversations with people, and it can also be embarrassing. And so all of these things are coming into play, and some women are just, they don't understand it. But as men, and we come in and have these conversations, this is like a real life thing. So how do you sort that?
So for me specifically, one of the things that I love about my relationship is the ability to have open communication where we could really discuss like sexual desires. So it's nothing that's off the table that we can't discuss. So anything that can be brought in like on the table that either, you know, it's an ability to switch it up. Plus, I'm attracted to my wife. Like when I see her get out the shower, I'll be looking like, damn, that ass looking good. When I see her combing up, brushing her hair down, I am like attracted to her. So it turns me on when I see her. I think that one of the issues could come across is if people's body change, right? And you no longer have that same attraction to them. And then that mixed with the mental of getting older can change the testosterone. I think the best thing would be like try and keep yourself in some type of shape, like you said, JR. And the woman also has to make sure she maintains something that you find appeasing, because it's kind of unfair to be in a relationship with somebody. And I get we age and time and pregnancies and bodies get different. I'm not saying that you got to remain perfect, but to, you know, make an attempt to keep yourself in a way where your man is still attracted to you is one of the things. And if all else fails, get a blue pill or a honey pack if you really need the assistance. I mean, or introduce something new to the, like, you know what I'm saying? If you need if you gotta watch her play with the the what's the thing called? The rabbit or the rose, you gotta watch her play with the rose, and you just can eat that thing. Hey, you gotta figure something out. If your Jones don't work no more, you know, you don't be in your ego where you can't make sure you still, you know, handling your business because you don't know how to lay pipe no more. Your Jones don't work no more. If I had an issue, I don't, but if I did, I'd be honey pack shorty every morning with my tea. I'd be putting that shit in there, swirling up, waiting like, shit, you ready? I ain't gonna sit here and flodge like like if I had an issue, I wouldn't try and fix it. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that sex and intimacy is a huge part of the relationship. Not the most important, but it is a factor within that. Like the older you get, and especially if you got kids, it gets harder to do, you know what I'm saying? So we like in the phase where all the kids sleep, it's tic-tac-toe. We get three kids with their eyes closed, hit the other room. So it's spontaneous based on when these kids gonna fall asleep or how long they gonna stay asleep. But yeah.